Hold on, John. Eric, so we're ready to go live.
All set.
Okay, thank you.
Are we recording?
It's live, so we don't need to. So go ahead.
No, that's right. This is the April 9th, 2024 regular Sewer Commission meeting. And I'm John Reynolds, Chairman of the Sewer Commission. And Bill, I should have asked you earlier, do you have your flag?
Yes, I do.
Okay, if we could all do the Pledge of Allegiance, I'll start us out. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America,
and
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible,
With
liberty and justice for all.
Okay, great. Okay, in accordance with the requirements of the open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting of the Sewer Commission is being recorded and will be able to be found on the Lunenburg Access YouTube channel after the meeting. The following information is also provided for members of the public that would like to participate in the meeting remotely. To participate remotely from a computer, please use the link to join the public meeting webinar found on the posted agenda, or from a telephone, dial the toll-free number 888-475-4499 and enter the webinar number 871-1768-1305. If you have not registered with Zoom, you will be asked for your name and email address. No participant ID is needed, just press pound when asked. Okay, I'll do a roll call here so we can see who's here. Mike Nault.
Present.
Brett Ramsden.
Here.
Mike Mackin.
Present.
And present for myself, and Dave McDonald is not with us tonight. Staff, when I call your name, if you could indicate present. Paula Bertram.
Present.
Jane Rainley.
Here.
And Bill Bernard.
Here.
Okay. Do we have any public comment from the public? If so, I will limit it to maximum of 3 minutes. Okay, seeing no one, any public comment from the commission or staff?
Yes. Do I have 3 minutes, John? Or
I don't know. You're a man of a few words, but important words.
Usually, yeah. So I am going to be resigning from the commission. I've got eight plus years into this. The last time around, I had said I'd go for another year. Ended up being a 3-year term, which I'm 2 years into. So I think the time has come for me to. I've been traveling more and doing much more. So it's my regrets that I'll continue into May. I can come into May as needed, and then after that, I'll do the best to try and find a substitute to get somebody in. I would like to thank everybody. It's been, go through lots of people. Dave McDonald in particular, because he's the one that started all this probably 10 years ago, getting me to sign up way back then. So I'm going to miss it all, but just letting you guys know. So.
Well, Mike, we're going to miss you. I'm sorry you're not going to stay on.
Absolutely.
Maybe you'll change your mind like Dave.
We'll try to talk you back into staying.
There we go.
Okay.
We got a couple of months.
Yeah, Mike, we'll miss you. Thank you for your service. Okay. Any other announcements? Let's see. Seeing none, we can't go into the public hearing until 6:15. So maybe real quickly, we go to current business, and if everyone had a chance to read the minutes from the March 12th meeting, we could vote to approve those. If someone wanted to make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the March 12th minutes.
Okay.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, any further discussion on those? No. Let's take a vote here. Mike Nault,
Aye.
Brett Ramson,
Aye.
Mike Macon,
Aye.
Mackin, I'm sorry, Mike. And I
As
for
long as you
myself.
don't call me late for supper, I'm fine.
There you go, Mike.
Okay, the minutes are approved. Have a couple more minutes here. Maybe we could do the Q3 commitment, Paula.
Yep. So the third quarter commitment is $255,498.52. And I will send the documents out tomorrow via DocuSign. But I would need a vote to approve tonight.
Did everyone hear the amount? Okay. So if someone wants to make a motion for the amount stated for the Leominster sewer bill, go ahead.
No, not the lower Leominster sewer bill. This is the third quarter commitment.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Does someone want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the third quarter commitment.
Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? No. Vote. Mike Nault,
Aye.
Brett Ramson.
Aye.
And Mike, excuse me, Mackin.
Aye.
And I for myself. Commitment is approved. I guess we only have less than a minute here before the public hearing. Okay, it's 6:15. We're going to open the public hearing portion of the meeting. And this is regarding the increase in connection charge. And I'll just read what was posted in the Lunenburg Ledger. The Lunenburg Sewer Commission will hold a public hearing on April 9th, 2024 at 6:15 p.m. via Zoom regarding a change to the sewer use regulation, Article 7, Section 4, Paragraph 1, to increase the minimum residential connection charge from $2,250 to $3,900. And as we all know, this is a direct result of Leominster increasing the connection fee in the new IMA. So I think all the commissioners know what it's for. Do we have anyone from the public out there, Paula? Paula, you're muted.
You're still muted, Paula.
There you go.
Okay. Mr. Champagne from the Reboot is here. And I see an iPhone. Brett, I'm not sure if that's, oh, that's you. So no, there's no one else here except Eric from the PAC.
Okay. Any comments from any of the commissioners or staff about this change?
I think
I'm not so sure that's necessary, Mr. Chairman. We're, we've gone over it, and we know, as Paula mentioned, the increases from Leominster, and this is what needs to happen, from my point of view.
Right. I totally agree. We have to do it.
And
Mike?
this would go into effect 7/1, just.
Right.
Yeah, no, I echo what Brett said, that, this is kind of out of our control, so.
Okay. Well, I guess we need to take a vote on that. So if someone wants to make a motion to increase the connection fee from $2,250 to $3,900. Someone would make that motion.
I'll make that motion to increase the connection sewer charge from $2,250 to $3,900 as written.
Anyone want to second that?
I'll second that.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a vote to accept it. Mike Knoll,
Aye.
Brett Ramsden,
Aye.
and Mike Mackey.
Aye.
And I, for myself, the motion for the increase is accepted. Okay, next on the agenda was our appointment at 6:30, but I guess I have to close that public meeting.
Yeah, you have
I
to
need-
close it. Yeah.
I need a motion to close the public hearing.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Any seconds?
I will second that.
Okay, let's take a vote on closing the meeting. Mike Nault,
Aye.
Brett Ramsden,
Aye.
and Mike Mackin.
Aye.
I, for myself, the public hearing is closed. Okay, since we have a little time before,
I think that we can go ahead, Mr. Chair. It's not a public hearing and the applicant or the business owner is here. I don't know if you want to.
okay. I thought we'd have to wait until 6:30 in case anyone else wanted to.
Okay,
Be part of that discussion.
okay.
I was chastised one time for starting one of these early.
Okay,
So if we go back to, and I apologize to the owner, but we do have to wait until 6:30. All right, let's go back to current business. We did the minutes, we did the commitment. The next item is engineering services. I don't know if any of you had a chance to read. I think it
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
five letters from, 5 proposals from Wright Pierce. I was a little shocked at how much each one of those were, as I believe Paula and Bill were.
I was quite
About
shocked.
6,060,000 results. Select quote. https://life.selectquote.com
any idea what that is?
/use/of-a/$19-sign 19
Eric, can you help us with
Eric?
that?
Select quote life insurance, $500,000 policy
I
under
cannot. It's
$19
coming
per month.
from
Ad shop
iPhone
plan.
number 2. Did it
Okay.
stop?
It's
Yes.
not.
It was coming from iPhone 2 there. I see an iPhone with a 2 bracket.
That's
Brett, that
correct.
was you. That was coming. from
That
your
was
phone.
me? Something on my computer I accidentally hit. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
The good news is you're approved.
So what Bill did, Bill, and I'll let you take over here. He sent a letter out to Wright Pierce about maybe a less expensive way they could help us. Bill, if you want to elaborate on that.
Yeah, so I sent Wright Pierce 2 emails. One was for writing the specs for our manhole repair contract. I basically asked them if they could send us some canned specs that they have. We would rework them and then we would have them review it. And that should cut the cost way down. We haven't heard back from them yet. And then the other one was which one was the other one? On the pump replacements, I don't know if they misunderstood us on the scope of work, but they had way too much in there. So again, I asked them to cut down that scope of work, which should reduce the cost significantly.
I mean, my
Mm.
memory regarding the discussion of the pump replacements was just
Mm.
to help us come up with the cost to replace the pumps because CTE and you and Paula were having a hard time coming up with prices.
Well, we actually got the prices, but
Right.
now we need the
Mhm.
energy calculations.
Okay,
So that's what we really need help with.
okay, all right. So I guess we'll have Wright Pierce on the agenda for the next meeting. Okay. The next item was public notification for systems clogs. It seems like we're getting more and more clogs, which are basically wipes. Not even flushable wipes don't really dissolve. And it's beginning to cost us a fair amount of money. So I talked with Paul and talked about maybe making a brief presentation at a select board meeting, because I think the select board probably has the largest audience. Not long, Paula sent out that 3-page presentation. Just really we need to make people aware of what they're throwing down the toilet is costing them money. So I'd like to go ahead and do that if the selectmen will allow us, unless any of you have any objections or any other suggestions. So everyone's in agreement, I should go ahead and pursue that.
I think it's a good idea.
I think get the word out no matter which way.
There are also a couple of town Facebook pages that I think a graphic would be very easily,
That's a good point. Yeah,
So we did put it on the DPW page. Bill posted it. I had done a simple graphic and we can maybe ask to put that on our town webpage. I also think we should put something on on the website so I can contact Kara McCarthy and have her put something on the page.
okay. I think we need to come up with any ideas to try to get it out there to our 900 plus ratepayers that, putting these things into the sewer system is costing them a lot more money.
it would.
Talk to your
Curious about whether
children.
the Lunenburg Ledger would, just do it as a service or whether we'd have to buy a.
That's a good
Right.
idea too.
That's a good idea, Mike. Yeah.
I can check into that. I also put together a color. I have been doing inserts in the bill before, but they're typically black and white. But this time to try to get more attention, I made it color. I sent out one of those and I'll send that with the May bills to try to get people's attention.
Okay, good. Let's see. Paul, I guess, do you want to start with the sewer system update?
Sure.
With the-
So you saw the updates from Matt. He gave a pretty in-depth, I'm sorry, not from Matt, from Robert in the package. He's still doing a really great job. We're very lucky to have him. The clogs are more frequent, so hopefully getting it more in the public eye will hopefully help with that. We did install the spill sense a couple of weeks ago. This is the float to tell us if the system is being, if rainwater or groundwater is getting into the system. We put it at the manhole by Stone Farm. Unfortunately, it is not transmitting. We don't know whether it's just the signal or whether it's the antenna. So they did send us a new antenna. Bill talked with Brian today and we're awaiting written instructions on how to obtain the information from the device manually. So Bill, myself, and Robert are going to try to do that on Friday morning. And we'll install the additional antenna at that time too. Bill, I don't know if you have anything else you want to add or.
No, I don't think there's anything else to add to that.
Okay.
Mhm.
I'd have to say the weather's cooperating for it anyways. nothing else.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Paula, next is the budget status.
Yeah, I just sent out where we are to date. You guys, I'm sure have seen that. Our receipts are currently $963,750.32. We do have a substantial amount of outstanding, which is why from the third quarter, which is why I want to get the demands out. Our expenditures to date are $1,750,649.89. A big chunk of our income that's going to be coming in is from the tax bills, which the file was able to be generated today. So hopefully they will go out next week. And with that tax bill, the betterments will be assessed. And our betterment review for the betterments themselves was forecasted at $367,782, and the interest on those betterments was forecasted at $115,628. So, you know, if those amounts come in where they should, we'll be okay.
Any questions for Paula on that? No, okay. I guess we're close enough to 6:30. So our 6:30 appointment is the reboot payment agreement plan and the non-compliance. Paula, if you want to just sort of give a summary.
Sure. So we had signed, as you guys all know, we had signed a payment agreement with the reboot. And it was signed December 13th of 2023. And that agreement required payment of $600 per week and future bills to be paid in full before the due date. We received our last payment on February 20th of 24. And the February bill was not paid in full as required. Currently, there's a balance due of $14,541.23. To date, since December 19th, $6,000 has been paid. So if basically that's where we are. I will say that the selectmen had approved the liquor license with a contingency that they appear before the select board on May 21st at 7:10 for a license status review to assure that they've been compliant with the sewer department agreement. And Heather requested that after this meeting, I let her know what the decision of the commission is relative to the outstanding balance so that they can take action at their meeting on May 21st.
Okay. Now, Joshua Champagne, are you representing Reboot?
Yes, I am. My business partner and I are both here. We're just on one computer because we're in the same room.
Okay. And the name of your business partner, just for the public record?
Yeah, absolutely. Lawrence Lagoy.
Okay. Anything you'd like to offer regarding this?
Yeah, so I had sent an email to Paula kind of going where we are on this. We are in an active 93A case against our landlords, which essentially means that they did not meet the terms of their lease. And this has kind of come about in several parts of this. As reviewing our lease, that sewer was never part of it, therefore it shouldn't be part of our responsibilities. This is something we found out in the end of February when we went to them and started to discuss how we have spent over $120,000 fixing a building that was repairs that we should not be responsible for to begin with. And then them responding with, hey, here's a list of everything that you owe us, plus the amount that included the sewer bill. So from the notifications that they've sent us, they said the sewer bill was already paid, which is why we stopped payment, because we assumed that they had already paid it. Why would we be paying it and they be paying? The second thing that I guess you could say, and I don't know whose fault this is, whether it be ours, whether it be yours, whether it be theirs, it's not part of our lease. Therefore, why are we responsible for it? I understand that we originally signed saying that we were responsible for it because we were under the understanding that that was the case. But much like us from the beginning of this entire situation with them, it was the understanding that any of the repairs that we did to the building to make sure that it was livable, because as you guys know, this building has swapped between business and business and business, and nothing seems to be able to be sustainable there. And it seems to us that it now is the landlords that seem to be the commonality in all of this. When everything's happening the way it's happening, and we've spent all this money to repair this building, we've kind of buckled down and said, okay, if we need to sit this out and discuss this in front of a judge, I guess it is where it is. And then to find out that it wasn't even our responsibility to pay it the entire time. And now we're getting charged from it from two different entities who are saying that we have to have it paid. At this point, we're an incredibly struggling restaurant, just because it is hard to open a restaurant, as I'm sure all of you have seen, based on the amount of restaurants that have opened and closed in your town. And at the end of the day, we're trying to operate within the reasons and within the law and within every local, I guess you'd say, regulation we have. But we just keep hitting roadblock after roadblock, and that's not necessarily your fault. But it seems that this is just another roadblock that, honestly, at this point, I don't know what to do forward.
Mr. Chair, if I could just say one thing.
Sure.
Within the payment agreement, one of the requirements was to provide a written statement from the landlord that they were aware of this agreement, and we never received that. Additionally, in one of the emails that I responded to you, everything that we have sent to Silver Lining Investment gets returned because the address is not correct. And I've used the address on the Registry of Deeds, the address at the assessor's office, and address online. So if you could provide the contact information for the landowner, that would be helpful, because that way we can copy them on any correspondence.
What contact information do you currently have for them, Paula? Because funny enough, we have the same exact challenges with notices we send them legally as well.
Okay, I'm actually not here. I'm not at work right now. I'm at home, so I don't have the actual address.
Are you available tomorrow? Because I can swing by with, I just have it written down on a piece of paper. It's the most recent address that our attorney provided for them.
Okay.
And I can bring back that tomorrow to you.
Yeah, or you can just email me the address. That would be helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm also not in my office. And that's kind of the challenge that we're running into. It's every single time we tried to have a simple conversation with them to say, hey, here's what's going on. What are we supposed to do about this? This isn't part of our lease. They're non-responsive until it comes to the worst statue. And as you can see, as you guys are sending notices over to them saying, hey, here's what's going on, they're not responsive. We just received notice from the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for 50 Massachusetts Ave LLC, which has no bearing on us, but was an entity that they used to run the bootlegger before. And apparently there's a $250,000 amount owed to unemployment. And so when someone came and knocked on our door and a constable handed that to us, we said, hey, we're not the people you're looking for here. All of our bills are paid through ADP. All of our payroll taxes are paid right then and there. It's not something that we like to get behind on. It's the scariest thing out there in the world.
So do you have an email address or a phone number?
I do have both of those. I can send those in an email to you currently.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And that's for the P. Bertram at Lunenburg is the one you'd like me to use, Paula?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So I think this puts us in a little bit of a bind, because that building is discharging sewage that has to be paid for. And right now, all of our other customers are paying to treat that. I thought I knew what I was going to be saying tonight, but I'm not really sure where to go with this at this point. Any of you other commissioners have any thoughts on this?
My only one thought process would be that there will be a lien on the property, meaning I assume eventually we will get paid for this. Now, whether, and I'm not sure whether we get paid with interest or whether we get paid with penalties, but at some point in time, you know, whether it's the building changing ownership, I don't know, but at some point in time, you know, I believe we're protected on that side of it, but
So
again, there's
I
no
did
short
send-
way.
I did send an email to town council to find out our options as far as placing a lien on the property. And bottom line is, it is through the tax delinquency process. So in the event that someone's delinquent for the prior fiscal year, and we just completed this for anybody who was delinquent in fiscal 23, the reboot is paid through fiscal 23. So they were not put into delinquency for taxes. If at the end of fiscal 24, which is ends June 30th, if this balance is outstanding, then it would go on the tax bill. So if this balance is not paid, and obviously it's going to grow, if this balance is not paid by the end of June, then it will go on the tax bill as a tax lien.
And forgive if it's too simple a question. Are the taxes paid by the landlord?
Sorry, I didn't mute
I would
myself.
assume so.
As of this time, yes, those are all paid by the landlord.
So that would mean that the landlord would have to make good on it. Okay.
Then my concern is the meantime that what's owed is going to grow and grow and grow, and it end up being subsidized by all the other sewer customers.
Mr. Chairman, we have another situation as well. The select board meeting coming up in May regarding this matter. There is a deal in place that isn't, for whatever reason, being fulfilled. So there's a very likelihood the liquor license will have an issue at that meeting. If this isn't somehow resolved, whether it's through the landlord, the restaurant, or some other means. So we have, at the very least, a deadline to figure a whole lot of things out and get I would imagine the resolving
Right.
answer would be to bring it to zero balance. I don't know what would happen during that meeting otherwise. So I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The fact that, okay, if I assume that, Josh, what you're saying, I'm going to assume for a minute what you're saying is accurate, and it's the landlord's responsibility. And we haven't had a lot of success communicating with them. I'm just not sure where to go. Now, we do have 2 more meetings, sewer meetings, before we would have to offer an opinion to the select board about the liquor license. So, Joshua, what is it you think you can do on your end to get this sewer bill paid?
So I guess this is where it's like I'm caught between a rock and a hard place. Because genuinely, I understand your perspective completely. I do. Our perspective is like we've already spent $180,000 on a building with a landlord who is refusing to reimburse us for any of this, and then the whole him negotiating rent with us with what should be paid and what shouldn't be paid has become an absolute battle and a half. I'm willing to pay something towards it, but with the legal bills and everything else that we are starting to rack up against him, obviously those are becoming quite costly.
So I will say, Mr. Chairman, the May bill, which will go out the first week of May, is for $920.95. So that will be a bill that's due in May. On
So
top of the outstanding balance.
I can tell you right now that if we were talking brass numbers right now, that I could cut a check for $2,000 to Paula this upcoming Friday, and I can guarantee those funds. And that's just, I want to make it right by you guys. I want to make it right by this situation. But genuinely, I'm in the same boat you are. I have someone that didn't live up to their side of this entire bargain. Obviously you guys feel like I didn't live up to my entire bargain, and I absolutely agree with you. And things have changed in the middle here significantly, which has caused this. but I'm kind of at a loss as well. I'm willing to do that because that would cover that current bill that's coming out for that 900 and whatever dollars Paula just stated. I apologize, I didn't write the number down. I was trying to concentrate and take notes at the same time. And that'll pay off a little bit of the back, but obviously that's not significant by any means.
Well, that would be, I think, a start. And I mean, what additional effort do you think you can put into getting a hold of your landlord to get them to pay for this?
There's gotta be
And-
a way to reach them, even for us to reach the landlord. So there's gotta be a way to reach these people.
And that's the thing. I absolutely agree with you. But I can tell you right now, the only thing he responds to me is when I send him attorney notices. And the only ones that I've actually caught him on is when we've had a constable physically serve him and they've caught him and physically have seen him at his place of business. I can tell you an address that he's normally at, which I'm going to send over to Paula early tomorrow morning, but it's not even listed as an office for him. I just know he's sometimes there.
May I ask, who is he?
It's Silver Lining Investments is Lance Delegano, and I believe Sean Morrison as well, but that's another questionable aspect that we have going on with this situation.
So those are the folks that bought it from the original business.
I am not 100% positive, but that's what I believe is the situation, yes.
On the deed, it is Silver Lining Investments and it gives the Fitchburg address, but everything to that Fitchburg address gets returned.
What is that Fitchburg address, Paula?
I don't have it here, Josh. It's at work.
Not a problem, because I know so that's the other challenge. We have another business that we've been very open about. They're also our landlords over there that we are in a almost $1 million lawsuit against right now. And it's the same exact situations we're having up here. And I guarantee if you reached out to Fitchburg, they're probably having the same exact problems with them.
So if I could say something here, I'd have to, at least my opinion is the $2,000 is a great gesture. And I think I would recommend going with it. And I mean, I'm sure they realize, definitely that if this doesn't get resolved by that selectman meeting, the liquor license is going to go away. So this gives them time to work with both parties and get this straightened out. And we're at least recouping some of the money. And I mean, if you follow what they've said, they were sticking to the contract until this issue came up. Now they're offering, to give the 2,000. So my opinion, it's a step in the right direction, and they know there's no hiding the fact that if this doesn't get resolved by the time the license comes up, or the selectmen, that's unfortunately leaves us no choice. So that would be my opinion on this whole thing. It gives them it buys them some time, is what it does.
Go ahead, Mike.
No, I agree with Mike on this. It's not a full resolution. And we still do need a full resolution in the timely fashion that before that next selectmen meeting. But I think that it seems like a good faith effort to at least move us in the right direction, and buy some time. So I agree with Mike on that.
Okay, and I also agree. Brett?
And if I may say, everybody, we understand the value of that liquor license in totality. If you remember when we first started, and I don't know, obviously, how many of you have been on the board for a while or have seen us kind of when we opened up as Lava Lane and then transitioned over, us not having that liquor license for the first 3 weeks was detrimental. And it was,
yeah.
you guys submitted everything out, the whole tax thing came around, the state held it up. And funny enough, by the time we did get it, the gentleman from the state that we were working with openly said, he's like, yeah, I don't even know why they held it on you. But the amount of revenue lost in those first 3 weeks was astronomical. Having a restaurant of our capacity, if you will, with what we're trying to do as the concept of that American Eats. If you can't have someone that gets out of work, stops by, has dinner and a beer with their family, it's almost off the table. So we absolutely appreciate it. And we appreciate your efforts to also work with us, but understand that there has to be a resolution at the end of the tunnel for everybody.
Right. All right, so I think we're all in agreement that the $2,000 would go a long way. I don't know that we need to take a vote on what we.
I would recommend that you do, Mr. Chair, because I do need to let Heather know tomorrow what the decision is tonight. So I would, if you guys are going to continue it, perhaps put it on both agendas moving forward, the 29th and the 14th, for updates on the progress with the landlord.
Right, okay. I mean, so are you suggesting we take a vote?
Well, we've got to either
Not-
void the
not-
current, right, we've either got to
not-
void the current payment agreement. I think that has to happen because we're already in violation of the payment agreement. And if you want to accept a new proposal to accept a payment of $2,000 by, tomorrow, April 10th, and then what you want to do as far as moving forward. Did we lose you, John?
It looks like we did. Shit. I think we're gonna need to have him back. This is too big a discussion.
No, I agree. He's got to move out of his basement.
Okay, he's in the waiting room. He's joining now.
Needs more sunlight.
Yeah.
While we're waiting for John, I guess my one question would be, and I just looked, and unfortunately, I don't have a copy of the original agreement. I know it was in the paperwork, but
Oh, it's on there.
is
Paula
there,
has it.
yeah, is there fines built into that agreement or?
Yes.
So honestly, I see no reason to void the agreement.
There's no fine built into the agreement. The agreement was that the debtor shall pay $600 per week beginning December 19th.
Yeah,
The debtor shall pay all future sewer quarterly bills in full by the due date. The debtor agrees that the outstanding balance shall be paid in full by May 28th, 2024. So we don't have the $600 per week. There have been several weeks without payments, and we do not have the sewer quarterly bills. The February bill has not been paid in full. So both of those are breaches.
My honest opinion on that is leave the agreement in place, especially there's no penalties. And it's obvious for them in their best interest with whoever pays it to hold to the agreement. And at that point in time, then the decision would be made. There's no sense in canceling what's there. It's in place. It's not being met at the point, but there's no penalties being paid. So, it's in the best interest to, the best results of all of this is come that May 24th or whatever that date is that this is squared away, however it's squared away, and we move forward. Other than that, we're forced to take action.
So
I'd like to agree with.
John is not able to rejoin tonight, so.
John is not able to rejoin?
No, I just got a text from him.
Okay. All right, Brett Ramsden, Vice Chair. I want to agree with Mike on this, with maybe a revision. Is there any way, Paula, that we can add to that agreement, or we need a vote on that, of course?
There's a clause in the agreement that allows amendments, which says the parties agree that any amendments made to this agreement must be in writing where they must be signed by both parties.
Okay.
Well, to me, that sounds like then the way forward, which is where you amend the agreement. The check comes, we sign the new agreement and move forward.
Exactly.
Wouldn't we need 4 of us to vote on that?
Oh,
No?
You just need a majority.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, well, the way I see it, everybody,
We could
we
continue
should-
this. We could continue this. I mean, if Mr. Champagne's saying he'll bring in a check for $2,000 tomorrow, we could continue it and get an update at the end of the month.
I like that,
I was gonna
That's
say,
what I'm
that's the
thinking.
best results here, and then.
especially since,
Right,
you know, the chairman is, not available right now. I think it's important that he be a part of
And it
this.
keep- And it keeps it simple, along with what Mike was saying. Keeps it straightforward and simple. All right, everybody, well, let's do that. We'll still have to have a vote on this, correct?
No, I don't think so. If you just can, basically, you're gonna continue the discussion till the end of the month, and Mr. Champagne is gonna make a good faith effort to bring in a check tomorrow.
Right. So
okay.
be it, that's great, okay. Let me,
I understand.
well, yes, gentlemen, I think I assume you caught all that. Do you have any questions at the moment?
At the moment, no, I appreciate your time.
Yeah, we're gonna move forward as a status quo, and extend it like we talked about. However, if you could stay in communication with Paula, and if there's any knowledgeable, if you're able to reach the landlords in any way, urge them to reach us somehow or help Paula get into communication with them any way you can, would be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. I'll reach out to our attorney, Christopher Batinzi, and see if he's found any other information on the best ways to contact them. Because like I said, I'm sure you guys are not the only ones in this boat, as we are already there. So I feel like if there's already two of us, there's definitely at least a couple others, to say the least. But I'll make sure I drop that information off when I drop off that check tomorrow to Paula, and I'll give her the best information that I absolutely have on them.
Okay, great.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, guys. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk soon. All right then. Well, that's a interesting twist. Moving along, I lost the agenda in front of me. I'll bring it back up.
Just a quick question. Do we need to reopen, or did we made a move, we moved into?
It wasn't a hearing, it was just an appointment, so. we
Okay.
can Continue it to the end of the month,
Okay,
or just add another appointment at the end of the
Yep.
month for an update.
But thank you for the question, Mike. Moving along, looks like we're moving into the current business, back into current business. We've taken care of the minutes, the third quarterly commitment. We discussed the engineering services, of which we'll be inviting Wright Pierce on here. Is that right, on the next meeting?
We're just waiting for a response from them to Bill's emails.
Okay, thank you, Paula. And then we've got, let's see, the public notification we covered. We're all the way to the business manager's report.
Yep, and we already did some of it. We did the sewer system update in the budget. Grease traps, we have two businesses that are currently late with their March reports, which were due on April 2nd. We sent them emails on April 3rd, and they are Kindred Spirits and Bad Larry's. Kindred Spirits has been consistently late on their reports this year. And if you remember with Bad Larry's, they were going to install a new grease trap on March 18th. Mr. Warnick indicated that his plumber hadn't yet installed it, so he was going to get a new plumber. So today I sent an email requesting the status of that installation, and I copied the property owner. External grease traps. Oh, I should have said this when they were here. They're overdue for their pumping of the interceptor. So I did send them an email today, but when I see Joshua tomorrow, I will bring that up as well. They've actually missed two reports. They should have pumped in June and they should have pumped again in December. So I will talk to Joshua about that tomorrow. Apologies for missing that.
Okay, thank you.
Possible grant funding. Bill and I attended a meeting with the Green Communities Chairman, Matt O'Keefe of Unitil, and a couple of representatives from the state grant program. The first step in this, and Bill, feel free to correct me if I say something wrong. First thing we need to do is determine if there's a significant energy savings with the new pumps and the new VFDs. So we did go through and calculate the run times, which I sent to Matt O'Keefe. I also sent it to Matt at Wright Pierce. And basically we need to fill out this chart of energy calculations, and it's something we're going to need help with. So I asked Matt to give us a cost on just helping us with that. And he said he would take a look at it and get back to me. Right now, the estimated cost of the pumps and the VFDs without freight, and freight is going to be substantial, is approximately $205,000. The maximum grant award amount is $225,000. So the key is whether or not we're going to see significant energy calculations with the upgrade. So Bill, I don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah, the most important thing is energy savings. So that's where we need Wright Pierce, and that's where we're asking them to help us with that. Yeah, if there's not energy savings, doesn't sound like they would give us much money at all, if any.
So we are still working on that. The last thing that I have is the demands and transfer to delinquent. The transfer to delinquent, which is what we just talked about, when someone doesn't pay their prior fiscal year bill, it goes on their tax bill. It's been a very long process. Munis was not working. After a couple of months of trying to get it to work, we were finally able to get it to work on Friday the 5th. And $41,491.04 was transferred to tax bills. Demands, we still can't do demands. And we have a very large percentage of our bills, our Q3 bills, that were not paid. We were not able to send demands on the third quarter bill, on the second quarter bills, because Munis was not working, and that was a loss of about $4,500 for the commission. If we don't get the third quarter bills out, it's going to be a loss of $3,790, which is why I want to see if I can do them manually. Basically using Excel and creating a Word document. I don't know how it's going to go, but I'm going to give it a shot. Our delinquency rate is very, very high. We sent 988 bills in the third quarter, and 379 of them have not been paid.
Oh, geez, I'm so sorry, Paula.
So,
We appreciate your extra efforts.
well, thank you. Thank you.
I don't even know how to put into words what's going on right there.
Munis has been unbelievably frustrating, and I think Bill can attest to that.
Yeah, that's what I was imagining. I just I wish there was something I could say to make this better. And
Well,
where do we go from here with that?
Bill, thoughts?
Yeah,
Anything,
just let people know it's not the sewer commission, it's not the sewer department. It's Munis, the software we have. And Paula gives it 100% every day, 8 hours a day,
Every
pushing to get this fixed. So it's tough. We're stuck.
I'm guessing it's more than 8 hours a day occasionally.
It is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's just an assumption.
Mm.
I think about what you get done every day, and I'm like, how do you fit that into 8? There's no way. So we greatly appreciate it.
Well, thank you.
So, is there any comments or questions from any commissioners that you have for Paula regarding her report on anything? And are you completed, Paula? Are you done?
It's like the
Yep, I'm all
ceiling.
done. Yep.
Just like to say, I feel your pain, Paula. It's gonna be
Thank you.
frustrating as anything.
It's been
I get
incredibly
frustrated.
frustrating.
I get frustrated just hearing about it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's,
if there's
um,
any action to take, that's the sad part.
Yeah, the worst part is, try it in training and it works, and then we try it in live and it doesn't work, and then you have to try it again and again, and every time you try it, it's another hour, another hour, another hour. So it's been very challenging. I will also say that the tax collector's office was having a lot of problems, but according to the email I received today, the tax file is finally generated, so that's good news.
That's bad news to me.
Well, it's good news to her, let me tell you.
I can only imagine. A lot more than 900 people on text to be taxed in town.
Mhm.
All right, is there any comment from the public?
No public in attendance.
Oh,
Except
okay, very good. And is there any public comment, any comment from the commissioners or staff? You're muted, Michael. You're muted.
I just want to thank Mike for his years of service to the commission, and sorry to see him go. Enjoyed our
Absolutely.
Thanks, Mike.
back and forth. So thanks for the work.
Thank you.
absolutely.
I would
You
like to
be
second
very
that.
missed, Mike.
Yes. We're gonna miss you, and you're always welcome back.
Well, it happened before, you never know. Somehow or another, right back in.
All right.
Every
So
time I tried to get out.
So our upcoming scheduled sewer commission activities, we've got our April 30th regular meeting at 6 p.m. Zoom. There'll be a May 4th town meeting at 6 p.m.
No,
Uh,
I'm sorry, that's not at 6 p.m. That's at 9 a.m.
May 4th is the town meeting.
Town meeting, yeah, it's 9 a.m.
Yes. Well, that's what yeah. So the town meeting's on at 6. It says it here.
No, and that's my typo, apologies, it's 9 a.m.
Oh, okay. In any event, another regular meeting on May 14th. And then on May 28th. Without further ado, does anybody want to make a motion to close the meeting?
So moved.
All right, anybody want to second that?
I'll second that.
That's awfully nice of you, because otherwise we'd have a very long meeting tonight. So let's take a vote on that. Mike Mackin,
Aye.
Mike Nault,
Aye.
and I for myself. And I want to thank everybody for being here and all your efforts this evening.
All right, good
Have a
night,
good night.
everyone.
Good night, Lunenburg.
Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.